He makes her bid for a little piece of history.
Hello and welcome to the Run of the Race. Brittany Taylor and Mark Warwood with you to review everything that happened from Saturday's race meeting. And Mark, it was an interesting sort of meeting. We had a horse like a Fabergino who has high wraps but wasn't able to win, and then a horse like Money Maher returned after a year away from the track. Was great to see.
Yeah, great performance by Money Maher. He was a little bit disappointing first up last campaign, but he certainly wasn't that on Saturday. And Fabergino, what do we do with her next?
Well, we'll see which file she gets in of Mark's later in the program. But now, let's start at the top. This was a 2-year-old race, and Specialism dropping out of the 1,400 metres of the sires back to 1,000. There are a few question marks over that, but was able to get the victory.
Specialism's handy though, running fourth on the inside, just in front of Jaguar Grey. A length and a half away then is Mini Winnie down on the inside, and back last of all is Bon Rocker. So up past the 500 they travel, and We've Got Dreams, the newcomer, with pace to burn, leads the way from high range, and then on the outside War Saint, who's had a nightmare of a run. A length and a half to Specialism behind them. It's well placed coming into the home corner, about to dart up near the inside, followed further back by Jaguar Grey. We've Got Dreams, the lead though. He's still looking for a run with Specialism. War Saint sticks on. We've Got Dreams in front. War Saint down the outside. Jaguar Grey. Specialism's getting through. She found the needle, eye-opening. She's coming. She's finishing quickly, or she dived in the 2 greys.
Specialism picked up another big check, a West Speed Platinum horse. The lucrative system is just making this horse's prize money go up and up, but Craig Staples got a 12-day suspension.
Yeah, Specialism, she could get another $80,000 if she wins another race soon, and she's the follow horse here. It's probably a little bit of a token selection. The race wasn't particularly strong, plus 5.3 was the overall rating, but she's likely to find another 2-year-old race for those bonuses. Could well be on Saturday, and if she was to win before the end of the Ascot season, she'd be a very good chance of being the Ascot Horse of the Year. The forget horse is Bon Rocker. I did forgive the debut run of Bon Rocker after the big trial win, but I've now run out of patience with this horse. And the forgive his high range, finished sixth on Saturday, was simply just too bad to be true. Had run back-to-back victories and decent ratings as well, was bumped 200 from home. Forgive high range.
All right, there are Mark's forget, forgive and follow files from the opener. The next race, $1.35, was Dance Music and was able to justify a short quote.
Half to look out, Advocator, followed by Horizon, and trailing them is Zatorio. They come along past the 550. It's Dance Music all out there on her own in front. Coming up to the corner, the 3-year-old. Dance Music by 2 lengths, Dacio and City Circle. As a party hasn't moved yet on Dance Music. She's in second gear coming around the home corner. Followed further back on the outside to look out, then Advocator. Horizon's well back with Zatorio. Inside the 200 though, and Dance Music, as she had a peep over the right shoulder, shot about 3.5 to 4 clear from City Circle. The stablemate look out, but she's going to win, and she's going to win very comfortably. Dance Music down to the line with another comfortable victory by over 3.
Chloe as a party getting the first of her treble with Dance Music there, and we look at the figures, minus 5.4, but that class rating minus 6.3. It just looks like she's going to go through the classes.
Yeah, she had lengths on these going into this race on Punting Forms data. Suggested the $1.35 was, if anything, over the odds, and she produced another winning performance. She's now won 6 from 7. Her only loss was at Belmont in a farcically run race, so she could well be unbeaten. She clearly is the follow horse, and she's another horse that could potentially win the Ascot Horse of the Year prize. The forget horse is Zatorio, stone motherless now in back-to-back races, has been unplaced in all 7 starts at Ascot. Forgiving Horizon here was pretty keen early, was held up until the 100-metre mark as well, got the fastest last 200 metres of the race when clear, but Dance Music clearly the one to follow out of this race.
Race number 3 was won by Money Maher. We referenced this horse at the top of the program. A year off the track after an injury. It's so good to see when these horses can come back, and when they can come back at their very best, it is wonderful. Let's have a look at Money Maher.
Maginica that bowls along in front, leading by more than 3. On the inside, War God moved to second from Not a Mocker. Mrs. Brown's Boy 3 deep, being followed by Money Maher off around them, 4 wide coming into the corner. Now being asked to go by Noski. Then Politics losing ground. Special delivery and Showcase into the straight now. 300 from home, Majanika. It's the baldy-faced galloper in front. Look at Money Maher. He's starting to take ground off it very quickly. Anoski shows him the persuader. Further back is Showcase running on. Money Maher reached the lead with 100 to go from Majanika. Showcase runs on now, but it's Money Maher in a wonderful return to racing. Money Maher comes away and scores, and he's first out again.
Money Maher returning in brilliant fashion, recording an overall figure of -3.5. Had also had that gelding operation, and I think the horse had come back more athletic, a bit leaner, and I think that's going to hold him in good stead.
Yeah, really good performance. Didn't flop first up this time in fastest sectionals and also the fastest splits from the 6 to the 4, the 4 to the 2 and the 2 to the winning post. Don't think he beat all that much, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and Money Maher did that with plenty in hand on Saturday. Clearly the follow horse. The Forget horse is not a mocker here. Had won 3 in a row at Albany before coming back to town, and its latest disappointment in the metro area. I am going to forgive Majanika here. Led what was a pretty decent tempo, came back with a plate missing and beat all bar Money Maher, who is clearly better than 76 plus.
And on Not a Mocker, I had spoken to Roy Rogers in Albany when the horse won once, and he did have a caveat over the horse that he doesn't travel well. So perhaps is one that you can follow when he's in Albany, but in town, maybe one you want to tread carefully with. Let's take a look at the 4th race. It was a day for the favourites. $1.95. Free Trade finally got his chance.
Then Salamart working around them. 3 deep, no luck at this point. 600 from home, and Route 88 enjoying a nice run down on the inside of Sophie's Song. A length away, King's Authority in a bunching field from Fetch More Ammo. Sixpence spent in the centre, and last of all is Fancy Fox out 3 deep, coming around the corner. No more than 3.5 to 4 from first to last, and first into the straight. Free Trade. Parnham said go. Free Trade exploded clear. Raced about 4 in front from King's Authority. Battling away Salamart, followed then by Sophie Song with 100 left to go though, and he shows the fave, the whip. It's Free Trade clear of King's Authority, and a great victory here, a sentimental win and an emotionally...
Free Trade winning there, and I thought a wonderful touch there by Darren McCauley in the call for what was an emotional victory, and I think an expected victory too. They've had a bit of a rap about this horse.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to win last start when it came to town, and it didn't make the race. There was an incident at the barriers, and Michael Lane, speaking to Gareth Hall after the race, was very, very emotional. I think he just about got away from G-Man before he burst into tears. Clearly, Free Trade is a horse to follow. He's won 2 out of 3 and had excuses when second to Speeding Comet. So that's the follow horse out of this race. The Forget is sixpence spent. It's at 12 starts at Ascot for 1 second and 2 thirds. None of his 4 wins have been in the town, and also he did misbehave a little bit on Saturday. I'm going to forgive Route 88 here. Hasn't won beyond 1,000 metres. They've tried this horse over 1,200 now the last 2 runs. I don't think it stays.
Well, that is a look at the first half of the meeting in accordance with the punting form data. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll have a look at the back half of the meeting.
Beach running with the boys. What were you thinking? Beach running with the boys on a horse? Legendary. Life's better with horses. See you at the races. Oh, wig!
Welcome back to the run of the race, where we are about to look at one of the slower run races of the day, which probably makes the effort from the eventual winner, Make Mine Champers, all the more impressive. Take a look at the finishing burst.
3/4 Zachariah Bow, 1 to fair foot and a half length away Make Mine Champers. Now the tempo's just gone up a cog here at the home corner, and last of all Game of War is going to try and sneak away. 400 to go with Aldelar. Leading man came off the bridle very quickly, and Zachariah Bow had to peel off his heels looking for the way through. Down on the inside is Rebel Knight. Into the straight though, and Hill went for home. Aldelar led by 2 to Rebel Knight, the favourite, quickly around his heels now. He's starting to really warm to the task. Down the outside is Make Mine Champers running on well with 100 left to go. Parnham was forced to go for the whip on Rebel Knight. Make Mine Champers draws level. Make Mine Champers descends upon Rebel Knight and finished much the better.
Make Mine Champers giving Chloe as a party 2 out of 3, and this was a walk here. Aldelar led them up at plus 9.3. That's over 9 lengths slower than benchmark.
If you are going to follow a horse out of this race, it probably should be Make Mine Champers. Fastest sectionals for the second run in a row. And if you go through the punting form data for this horse, what it has proven is it can sprint really, really well off slow tempos. And in these kind of contests that we do see in Perth from time to time, they often do go slower than benchmark. So Make Mine Champers is the follow horse. The forget horse is Al Dilar, led what was a very slow tempo here, ended up missing the placings, and all 3 wins have been at Bunbury, not at Belmont or Ascot. I'm going to forgive Rebel Knight. Each of his last 2 races have been run about 10 lengths slower than benchmark to the 600 metres. Before the race, Pete Anthony's identified that tempo has been a bit of a problem for this horse, and so it proved. He may not be a superstar, but he can certainly win a race.
Now, speaking of tempo, from a slow race to a very fast run race, we expected that the tempo here would be frenetic, but you had Mervyn, Fabergino and even Copper Fury putting the pressure on. Let's take a look at Hoboken winning this race.
Delarata behind those. Market Ruler, look at them go here at the head of the field. Undisclosed back there, Damn Ready and also Hoboken. Well, this trio are flying. Copper Fury, he's really certainly challenging Mervyn. Mervyn's got up on its inside now, and Fabergino took the trail behind them a length and a half away coming into the bend, but there's still 3 in front of Man Time, Dear Delarata, Market Ruler, Undisclosed, Hoboken and Damn Ready into the home straight where the sparks have been flying, and Mervyn shook off Copper Fury. Here comes the big Liverpool grey Fabergino. Nucky now goes to work. They're coming from the back. Dear Delarata down near the rail. Market Ruler. Now Hoboken right over the top. Fabergino, Hoboken, Market Ruler. They'll split the line. Hoboken got there in the last stride from Market Ruler.
Hoboken winning there, and on paper it was probably always going to set up for a horse that was able to sit behind because of that speed up front, but there was a question mark over the class of Fabergino, and would she just be too good? What's your take on it?
Just on Hoboken, he's been running really, really well, running similar ratings around the -5 mark in each of his last 3 starts. So it wasn't a massive surprise that this horse won the race. Doesn't make the file. The horses that do, I'm going to forgive Damn Ready. He's been up for a very long time. Hit a soft track, which he probably doesn't like. And he's now had 3 poor runs in a row after 2 very high rating wins. I'm going to follow Market Ruler here. It was close to a personal best effort, and she's generally had excuses for the unplaced runs as well. So Market Ruler is the follow. Somewhat controversially this, I think, forgetting Fabergino. Been a big rap on this horse now, but anything other than first up is a major concern. Every time she doesn't lead, she's been beaten. And if you look at the only time that she's won not first up, it was the worst run of her entire career. I think she's got major question marks about her now. I'd love to be wrong, and I think she could possibly win next start if she's in the right race, but too many things need to go right for the Liverpool Grey for me.
All right, well, hopefully she can prove you wrong, because she definitely had high raps on her. She is a classy horse, we know that, but obviously you've identified there are a few caveats if you are having a bet on her. All right, the next race, well, this was a bit entertaining. It's the first time I can recall having a dead heat in a post-race interview, having to interview 2 jockeys. Let's take a look at this finish. Ping Me Another, no longer a maiden, but had to share the spoils with Superior Smart.
Ken, who's improving from the back, in front of I'm a Love Man, and then came Kensington Abbey, and Midnight Sky is near enough to last as they go by the 500. Up nearing the home corner now, and Superior Smile about to let rip for Noski. Got a length and a half in front from on the outside, Vital Power. Ping Me Another now. She is called upon at the top of the home straight. Lennon's Song making ground. Followed on the rails by Yeah Bravo. Superior Smile tackled by Ping Me Another. 2 lengths Universal May starting to work into the clear from Lennon's Song. It's Superior Smile and Ping Me Another with 100 left to go. Superior Smile digs in. Ping Me Another, and Universal Smile. They hit it together. It's close.
A nice result with the 2 gallopers splitting the win in the first dead heat of the Ascot season, but according to the numbers, this was a pretty poorly rated race.
Yeah, very poorly rated, plus 11.9, so that's about 2 seconds slower than the benchmark. So Ping Me Another and Superior Smile shared the spoils on that day, but they don't make the file. I am going to forgive Discoville here. Was held up until the 100 metre mark. Fastest last 200 after being the 3rd slowest from the 4 to the 2. Was pretty unlucky. I'm also going to follow that horse as well. I'm forgetting Yeah Bravo. Won 1 race in WA for Neville Parnham. He just won 1 race in New South Wales for Chris Waller. And just on Ping Me Another here, I heard in the post-race interview that Chris Willis was thinking of setting this horse for the Railway Stakes. Based purely on the ratings, probably going to improve about 6 or 7 lengths on what she's done that far to be competitive in that type of race.
All right, we need to see her in a high tempo race and still finishing off in order to be competitive in a big Group 1 like that. All right, one more race to come. Let's take a look at Settlers Creek. He's made it 2 in a row, the old war horse, and I I think it could be the key, that dropping grade.
Favourite back near the inside, travelling fifth, Little Fish. Grey Enigma going okay in the middle. Around it, Settlers Creek now being put into the race. Debilatio trailing it. Down on the rails, Duendis. Diamond Tonique's back there near the middle, and then came Cheston Flyer, and last of all is Almaid L. Passing the 400, about to corner in the last. Turbo Power has got through now to go to a clear lead. Dicoletto, which has been parked wide, keeps coming though. Little Fish behind those. Settlers Creek still makes up ground, and then Skin and Tins. Dicoletto hit the front, but Settlers Creek's got it. It's Settlers Creek ranging up now, draws to the lead, kicks away, and Chloe Azzopardi's going to land another treble. On it goes Settlers Creek to make it two in a line from a brave Dicoletto.
Settlers Creek made it back-to-back victories after finding himself in this 64 plus grade. This rating just mildly better than his last start.
Yeah, just about a length better. He's the follow horse here, but he really is a token pick in a race I don't really want to follow too many of the horses out of. Fastest sectionals to win back-to-back races for Settlers Creek. He's a little bit hard to catch, and he does probably prefer Ascot to Belmont, a former Ascot Horse of the Year. Forgetting Greco here, they did make the gear changes, including the blinkers off and the tongue bit on, but it didn't make a positive difference. I don't know what they do next with Greco. I'm going to forgive Skin in Tins here. Probably didn't handle the soft track. That was certainly in the Stu's reporting. If you go back through his form, there is some grounds to that, and the track was a soft 5.
It was indeed. So that is something also to consider in this review, that we obviously were racing on a soft 5, but approaching Belmont, I expect that there'll be plenty of more wet weather coming our way in the winter months. All right, let's have a look at the meeting in its entirety. Who are our best performers?
Joint best performers on the day, Hoboken in the sprint with a minus 5.4, and also Dance Music as well in the 1200 metre 3-year-old race, minus 5.4. But if you apply the class ratings, then it becomes Dance Music as the best performer on the day, and she clearly is rising through the grades here. That was a 3-year-old 62 plus. She can win again. Looking at the closing sectionals, dead heat over the 200 metres. Dark Musket and Discoville. Discoville, a horse worth following, I think. Midnight Sky over the 400, and Hoboken, the winner of that race, 6:34.22 to come home and to beat Fabergino and others.
All right, that is a look at the fastest finishers on the day. We'll take a quick break and we'll find out who this week's tip star of the week is.
Turning up for a picnic with chicken chunks? Ooh, orchies? Turning up for a picnic on a horse? Delightful! Life's better with horses. See you at the races.
Welcome back to the run of the race, where it is time to look at the tipping competition, which is getting to the pointy end. Only 2 rounds remain. Let's take a look at the weekend's results. And Mark, there were a few nice price winners on the weekend.
Certainly was. You needed all of the winners buying the first race. That was Jaguar Grey at $7.20 for the place. That was the best way to go. You could have got almost 1,500 points had you tipped the card on Saturday, with the best bet needing to be on Make Mine Champers at $9.30 and $3 with Tab Touch.
Thankfully, we had that back half of the meeting, because early it was looking like it was going to be very skinny with those favourites getting up. But luckily, the back half of the meeting saw a little bit of odds come into the equation. Who was our winner this week?
The winner was Tracy May. She didn't make too much of an inroad in the first half of the card. She had 3 minor placings, but she really started to hit her strides with Make Mine Champers in the 5th, and she came home with Settlers Creek and her big bet on Settlers Creek at $7.90 and $2.20. She placed her faith in Chloe Azzopardi, who's become a little bit of a, I suppose, like the AFL Dream Team gun here, like a Patrick Dangerfield or a Cameron Smith in the NRL. She's the go-to jockey at the moment for the people looking to make big scores in PR Tipstar.
And no real surprise there. Only 3 rides until she outrides that 3-kilo claim. So 3 wins will see her down to 2 kilos, but I'm sure she'll keep kicking goals with the 2-kilo claim. Let's take a look at the top 8 leaderboard, and how's Keatsy sitting going into the final 2 rounds?
Keatsy is 952 points ahead with 2 rounds to go. He's been in front since the end of round 7, and the horse he owes his lead to is Sax On, Sax Off, who paid nearly $50, and he had his big bet on that horse that day.
I dare say he'll be pretty nervous going into the next 2 Saturdays, hoping that there aren't any massive price winners, because if there are, chances are someone will have their big bet on there somewhere within the competition. So best of luck, Keatsy. Pressure's on you. 2 rounds to go. It's not too late to try and run him down, particularly for those who are just behind him, only 900 or so points. All right, 2 rounds to go. Looking forward to it. The next round, obviously, this weekend. So make sure you do get involved. From us, that's it for this week, and we look forward to catching you next week on the Run of the Race.
He makes her bid.